So let's start. Live on Facebook. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to get started shortly.
All right, so that started. Let's just give it a second just to make sure we're live. We are live. All right. And then Megan, I'll make you a host, and then we can start now.
Okay, thanks, Charles. Good afternoon, and welcome to today's Link Senior webinar. Today, we are providing one free NAB, NCAP, and/or NCCDP CEU credit. In order to be eligible for the CEU credit, please remember that you have to remain on this webinar for the full hour. At the end of the webinar, I will provide the required post-webinar CEU survey evaluation link in the webinar room chat box, and I will also send it by email this afternoon. Please be sure to check your spam folder. If you don't receive the link this afternoon, please do email me right away so I can send it to you directly. If you have any questions about our CEU process, please read our new FAQ webinar page, which I've posted into the chat box. CEU certificates will be issued by email on Friday, November 20th this week. Again, please check your spam folder in case it lands there. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Charles D. Vilmorin, CEO and co-founder of Link Senior. Charles?
Thanks, Megan. Hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone, I should say. And thank you for joining us. I'm particularly excited for today's webinar where Vicki de Klerk-Rubin, Executive Director of the Validation Training Institute, is going to talk to us and teach us how to gain empathy with the reactions of older adults to COVID-19. And welcome again, Vicki. I think it's your third webinar with us.
I think
and so. I was checking the feedback that we've been getting in the previous one. Every single time, it's an amazing presentation you're giving us. So again, thank you for coming, and it's an honor. Everyone, I want you to welcome Vicki as she is zooming in from the Netherlands, Europe. So it's a little later for her. It's the evening. So thank you for being with us, Vicki. Like Megan said, my name is Charles de Vilmorin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Link Senior. You might notice that we've changed and upgraded our templates for Activity Strong. And so let me tell you a little bit about us, what we do, and then I'll introduce Vicki for her presentation. So Link Senior, some of you might be familiar. We started a pretty fun and cool campaign called All People Are Cool, I think 5 years now, to fight anti-ageism in our society and gain respect for everyone, including the older adults, the elders, our residents. And when COVID started, we decided to take a stand and start a platform to acknowledge the essential work of activity and life enrichment professionals, but go further than that as well, which is to educate and empower you. Right, so let me take a pause here and thank you for the awesome, very courageous, essential work that you have been providing throughout this pandemic. Link Senior was founded on the idea of providing an evidence-based resident engagement platform for senior living. And we are all about connecting the elder, regardless of who he or she is, and where they are physically and cognitively, with the best experience they want and deserve, right? And our work has been so thorough that it's actually been published in a peer-reviewed journal late last year, where we were very proud of being able to correlating the use of our platform with quality of life, clinical, and financial outcomes. If you're interested in learning more, please be in touch. But through this platform, and initially it was Champions for Change, which now became Activity Strong, more than 2.5 years ago, we saw the need to educate activities and life enrichment that were seeking better education and sometimes, unfortunately, couldn't get out of their community. And essentially, we believe, and we still do very strongly, that the more frontline staff, people like you in the activity and life enrichment discipline are educated, the better job you'll do, and obviously the better quality of life our residents will lead, right? So when COVID started, we decided to enhance this platform. And we've been very lucky to attract speakers, including Vicki, that were, from national and international realm, but on all sorts of different topics associated to activities, life enrichment, person-centered care. And so if you believe that there is somebody or something that we should be talking about that we haven't yet, please reach out. Vicki has become a friend. Vicki is the head of an organization that is one of the organizations that I have the most respect for. It is all rooted on the idea of connecting with the older adult, regardless of the cognitive journey. Myself, I was lucky, I think 4 years ago, to go through the validation training, which is probably one of the training that I recommend the most if you have anything to do with the elder, if you have anything to do with the elder that lives with cognitive change and dementia. Believe me, it is also something that has helped me throughout my day, regardless of the age of the people that I speak to, because I believe that everyone needs more empathy or more validation. As a side note, just so that everyone knows, I'm actually also on the board of director of the Validation Training Institute. And so, which is actually the next slide. And so when we were talking a little bit with Vicki, we had planned for this webinar actually just before, well, almost a year ago actually. So it was before the pandemic. But we did have the notion that we wanted Vicki to come back and to talk to us about empathy, how we work and live and create experiences for our residents. And so when COVID started, we heard from all sorts of different directions that one of the biggest issue was time, right? This limited opportunities for us to connect. So obviously, VTI has done an amazing work in pivoting like all of us. And Vicki, I'm excited for what you're going to tell us. And everyone, just so you know, Vicki loved questions, so feel free to drop them in the chat. And with that, I'm going to move to your presentation, Vicki. Just give me 1 second, and off we go. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here and to deliver this. It is a challenging time for everybody. How do you use empathy when somebody's screaming at you, when somebody's crying, when somebody's depressed and totally withdrawn? And that's what I want to talk to you about. I cannot teach you validation in 1 hour. It's too complex. But what I want to do is to give you some tips, hints, ideas, inspiration, and maybe even an insight or two into how you can change the way you view older adults. Validation is more than just empathy. Validation has got a whole complex theory, goals, verbal techniques, nonverbal techniques, and of course, everybody associates that person-centered care, validating attitude, and all three are important. I want to work with practical situations. So Charles, would you hit the first video? I want to show you about a 2-minute video, and then oh, wait. Yes. And then we'll talk about it, and then I'm going to set off the polls, okay? So first the video, then the polls.
Can you hear it?
Nope. Technology.
Let me put it back at the beginning if you don't mind.
I can't see it either.
Good morning, Mrs. James.
Oh.
We might need
How
to
are
make you
doing?
host, right?
Not a good morning at all.
There
Been waiting for Sue.
Let me put it back at the beginning, Vicki.
Good morning,
There you go.
Mrs. Jacobs. How are you doing?
Not a good morning at all. I've been waiting for Susie to come, and she's not here. And she said she would come. She promised me she would come. When she put me in this place, she said she would be here with me, but she's not. She lied. She lied.
Has she ever done that before?
But that Susan doesn't tell the truth. I'll tell the whole world about it. I'll write it in the newspapers, and they'll punish her for that. What you do to your parents, that
Oops. Hey, Charles, I can see the list of attendees, the panelists, when you share your screen. So can
Sure.
you remove that, please?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oops. If you could just, yeah, drop it.
good.
You miss Susan, and who else do you miss?
Well, I miss Susan, and also I miss Jerry, because Jerry was always such a good son. Oh, but I don't know where he is now. Everything is gone, so there's no use.
Everybody's gone. Susie's gone. Jerry's gone.
Yeah, they're all gone, and I'm. And maybe that's the way it should be. It should be like that. I have to get something from my mouth because they don't give me
Take your time. Take your time.
You know what? They don't give you any food here. So all I have is this horrible junk coming out. And this place is just terrible. I've never been in such a bad place in my whole life.
So everything is wrong. It's a bad place. There's no food. You don't get what you need, and your family isn't coming to visit you. It's a really difficult time right now.
You said it.
Your time,
Said it.
and anything I can do to help you, I am happy to do so. Okay, cut it there. Thank you, Charles. You can launch the first poll.
Yep.
Okay. So I would love it if everyone who is watching that would answer poll question number 1. What is this woman expressing? Are we getting any responses? I
Yes.
see in the chat sadness, some, yes. There can be more than one answer. Oh, cool. A lot of sadness, some anger, fear, disgust also, yes. I hear all of that. Now let's launch poll number 2. Oh, loneliness, somebody said. Charles, every time you do something with your screen, we're all seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm
So-
just trying to.
Poll number 2. So what could be the reason behind this expression? What she's doing? And again, there can be more than one answer. She's afraid, I see in the chat, but afraid of what? What is behind her behavior? That's what's interesting for us in validation. She feels abandoned. Yes, thank you. I agree with that. I also agree with her basic human need to feel useful is not being fulfilled. She can't cook for her family. She can't take care of her husband, perhaps. She may hate also living in a facility and being dependent. This is somebody who feels shunted aside, useless. And she's expressing it in perhaps not clear ways, but we have to learn to read the reasons behind the behavior in order to find the empathy. If we understand that she is feeling useless or abandoned, we can have empathy with her, hopefully. Let's look at the second video that starts at 1 minute. She needs to have purpose. Yes, thank you for all this. I love what you're writing in the chat. I'm looking at it and I see that you're right with me and I appreciate it. Okay, let's look at this one. Help the older adult explain what's going on. Watch how Naomi teaches Chris. Recognize how her anger is diffused and their relationship gets better.
Where are we going today?
Well, first of all, we're going to the store, we're going to French class, and then we're going to a film this evening.
Yeah, but what exercise? I don't see it here anywhere. You show me where there's exercise.
That's not today. That's on Thursday, so just calm down and don't worry about it.
What do you mean it's not today? You're making that up. Where is my schedule? Did you hide it?
I just told you we're going to the store, we're going to French class, and then we're going to a film this evening. So just trust me.
I don't trust you.
I give you a schedule every 2 days. Will you just please follow that?
No, I don't follow your lousy schedule. Huh. What do you know about me anyway? No.
Okay. Let's go to poll number 3. Same question. What is this woman expressing? And it can be more than one, because often everyone, older adults as well as us, it's not always just one emotion. It's often a mix, a blend of emotions. Yeah, anger, fear, anger. Loss of control might be what she's afraid of. Right. So anger is what we're reading, and behind that may also be fear. Oh my God, I'm getting old. If I don't exercise, if I don't move, I'll die. All of that can be behind that sort of what often is labeled aggressive behavior. I'm not a big fan of the word aggressive or aggression, because when it's used to describe the behavior of very old adults, it's often a replacement for, oh, that person is expressing anger. And anger is a healthy, normal, basic human emotion. We all express anger. And very old people have a lot to be angry about, especially if they're stuck in a place that they don't want to be, or in a situation they don't want to be. So while in this short video, Chris is trying to do good, he's trying to help her, she is expressing all her doubts and anger about being very old, and her fear of getting older and losing control is getting expressed through anger. And how often have we expressed our fear through anger? I think about when I'm riding a bicycle in the street, which I do, and a driver gets scared because I'm a bicyclist on the street, and they roll down their window and they yell at me. And the reason they're yelling is because they're scared. So I think often angry reactions are another way of expressing fear. Not always, but often. Sorry, control of her destiny. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. He talks to her in a business-like tone, and she is very emotional. Oh, yes. So he is not in empathy with her at that moment. That's what that statement tells me. She feels as if he is being presumptuous. Yeah, or condescending maybe, looking down, I'm telling you what to do. And she's going, oh, no, you're not. So yeah, it's not exactly a validating situation. We'll get there, I promise. I've got one more short video and we'll do the same poll again. So can you roll the third video? Oh, did I miss you today? Did I miss one of the polls?
Do you want us to do the poll?
Sorry, everybody, I'm jumping the gun. Poll 4.
Do you want to do it now or after this video?
Well,
Vicki?
let's do poll 4. Why not?
Okay.
Most people have said it. What could be the reason behind this expression of emotion? Yeah. God, you guys are good. Also, Patrice, you bring up an excellent point. She cannot process all that he is telling her. Right. He's talking very fast and very da 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 da. And she's a little bit too, maybe her hearing isn't so good and she's missing stuff. It's also something. She feels out of control. She hates getting older. Her basic human need for getting and giving love is not being fulfilled. That may also be so, but I'm not seeing that particular basic human need being expressed in that short video. But her basic human need for self-determination, that I would agree with. Love this. Okay, let's go on to the next video.
Should I play it now, Vicki?
Yes, please. Hi there. Hi. You look, yeah, it's not good. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper
as you love me. Oh,
Na da 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 da, so true.
Let me hold you,
sweetheart. I'm in love
with
with
you,
you.
you.
That was lovely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Listen, so nice to see you today.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm going to go now, but I'll come back a little later, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So let's go to poll 5. What emotion could you sense in the woman at the end of the video? Can you see the poll? Yeah, there is more happiness. There is no anger, little bit of sadness, melancholy. Yeah. A lot of people are saying calm and comfort, but what we're trying to look at is the emotions of the older adult, what we're sensing, what feeling is coming out. You see sadness, yes, little bit. Right. She did what was familiar to her, and it wasn't so much a calm state as she was able to come out of her inner world and make contact with the other person. And it often with people who are very withdrawn, and my guess is you all know this. Older adults who have withdrawn deeply inside and generally don't express themselves verbally, you can reach them through music. But let's first look at what could be the reason behind her withdrawing. And I'm sure you have seen this a lot in your daily work if you work in a memory care facility or an institution. Let's do poll number 6. And yes, there's more than one answer possible. You can do all of them, none of them, but really think about what did you see and what did you hear? And think about the song choice that I made. Human contact. A lot of people say all of the above. Certainly, yes. People who are in quarantine miss human contact, and everybody has to have human contact. When I was doing that little scene, I can't tell you why, but my gut sense was she was missing her husband. And that's why I sang the song, Let Me Call You Sweetheart, because it's a love song, an old love song, one that I know that she knew and had sung many times in her life. And even if you don't have a good ear and you sing off key and you don't have rhythm, it makes no matter. If you just hum the song, it will trigger a response. And that is indeed why it is so important to know our residents. Carmela, right on. It's still a popular song. I am happy to read. Very nice. Did you, even though I think I was wearing a mask in that last scene, could you see what I'm doing with my eyes? That I'm really focusing deeply at her eyes. Even if she's looking down, I am focusing on her. And that eye contact is critically important. My face and my voice tone in the beginning was just trying to pick up where she was at. So when I was going da 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 da, I wasn't trying to mimic her or pretend to say anything. I was simply feeling what is she doing and what could possibly be going on in her. That is a technique we call mirroring in validation, and it's important to do that technique with empathy, meaning I'm totally in her world. Often mirroring will help me pick up the subtle emotional tenor of what's going on. And it was from there that I could get to the song that seemed to help her connect with me in the outside world. And often when you can make that connection, words will come. So when I said thank you, she was able to pick up on that and say thank you. And often we can get people talking more if we can meet them where they're at and connect. I guess that's what it's about, connecting and communicating. That's validation. Okay, so now I want to teach you a few simple things. Oh, thank you, Susan. Your eyes and tone showed empathy, support, and love. Yes, indeedy. I appreciate that. Thank you. Can we go to the next PowerPoint, please? I'm sure you have heard me say this if you've heard me talk before. Centering is absolutely the most important technique that we have in our tool chest, because centering is what you use to clear yourself of your own thoughts and feelings. It can be part of your own self-care. So I want to lead very quickly a centering exercise that is a favorite of mine when I'm very nervous or taken aback. I have what a kinesthetic anchor, and that is a physical touch. I press my thumb in the middle of my palm. That's mine. You're welcome to share it with me. But you can use like your earlobe or your elbow or your shoulder or whatever works for you. And what we're going to do is I'm going to lead you in a little guided meditation, and you're going to press, not crazy hard, but you know, make sure you feel it. for a count of 10, and I will lead you in this. So sit comfortably with your feet on the ground. Concentrate on your breathing for just a second, taking in air through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And release those little tensions in your shoulders, your neck, wherever you're holding. And as you are doing that, I'd like you to imagine a situation where you felt fantastic. You felt resourceful. You felt your inner strength. And imagine that situation, whether you're alone someplace in the woods on a hike, or whether you're doing something at work or at home. It doesn't matter what it is. It just matters how you feel. And I want you to call up that feeling, that memory, that image right now, and see yourself in that place, either alone or with other people around you. What are you wearing? The clothes. What do you hear? Are there sounds, voices, nature, silence? And what do you feel? Is it warm? Is it cool? Feel the energy flowing within you, the feeling of, I can do it. And when that feeling is strong within you, press on your anchor point for a count of 10, and then relax. When you're ready, come back. Okay. I can't see you, so I can't see if everybody's back, but I'm hoping you are, and that we can move to the next exercise. We're done with the poll questions. Okay. The next very important skill is learning how to observe and calibrate. Now, for us, calibrate means we adjust ourselves to match what we see. And this is a fun exercise that you can do at home in the privacy of wherever. I will demonstrate it for you, and you are more than welcome to practice this or do it with me, because it's important to get past our hesitations or concerns about looking stupid or being taken the wrong way. If we really want to connect, for instance, with this man on the left, if I go up to him calm, cool, and collected and say, "How are you, Mr. Smith?" he's going to hit me. So what I need to do is to get into his world and from here, that changes my voice too. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm narrowing my eyes. I'm not being exactly the same, but I'm getting into that space. I probably won't do that because that's too much like mimicking. I just want to get into that feeling. And you hear what that does to my voice? So now my voice is also matching, calibrated to what I see. Okay? Let's do the lady on the right. You use centering also to get out of the emotion. And that is equally important. You cannot walk around with everybody's emotions in you. You've got to clear it out. That's important. Take care of yourself. So this lady, so now I'm into her space. And now she's looking down. And from here, my voice changes as well. And so I can approach her and perhaps make contact more on her emotional level. Let's go to the next slide. The man on the left. That's a great, right there. That's a great thing to practice. Surprise is an interesting emotion because surprise is almost always followed by another emotion. This is surprise maybe with fear, but you can also have surprise mixed with happiness, and that looks very different. So it's important to really look, especially at the eyes there. I see surprise and fear. What's going on? Right? That would be my road inward. Let's look at the very weird lady on the right. Yes. Well, I'm certainly not going to talk to her in this kind of a voice tone because I think she would either hit me or walk out of the room. Right? The voice is also important to match what's going on. Okay, surprise, big eyes. The lady or the man? Woman, judging, disagree. Yep, I see that. Disappointment, that's interesting. Could be. Could very well be disappointment mixing with anger. Yeah. Embarrassed. Ooh, that's interesting. A lot of people are angry when they're embarrassed. Okay, let's go to the next PowerPoint. There we go. What do you do? I don't know if everybody can see all the sentence. Thank you. That's great. So we made a start. You observe, you calibrate, and then what comes out of your mouth? How do you connect with these people? You are so angry. What makes you so angry? What's going on? You look like you're ready for a fight. It's important to say that last one in empathy and not from outside, because if you sit there and go, oh, you look like you're ready for a fight, you're going to get hit, because that's making fun of them instead of being in empathy. Am I being clear? I hope so. The next one, I would, with the man, he's clearly, well, he seems to me someone who could respond verbally, but the lady on the right could be somebody who does not express verbally. And so I'm not going to ask open questions. I'm going to maybe start with, oh, you look very sad to me. Are you sad? It's a closed question, but maybe she can answer it. Maybe not. Maybe she'll make a sound. I'll take that as an answer. Maybe it's not about being sad at all. Maybe her attention is something that she's working with on the table. It could be that she has pain. And if I know her history and know that she's lost her whole family and she's all alone, and she's doing this with that face, I might say, where is it all gone? It's important to know the history of the people you work with. We've said that before, that somebody said that in the chat before, and that was very wise. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you. Oh my, what happened? Or you look scared. What's scary? What do you see? What do you hear? Again, always in empathy. And I think we've said all that before. PowerPoint 7, please, or the next PowerPoint. So, congruence. What we say has to match the nonverbals. That's critically important. I'm going to say the same sentence 3 different ways. This is poll number 7.
Vicki, just before you start, we weren't able to load that in because it wasn't a multiple choice. So we'll just ask folks to answer in the chat box today.
Brilliant. Okay. The question is, how does my voice tone make you feel? Okay. Number 1. What seems to be the problem? What seems to be the problem? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Oh, there's a million answers. Right, right, right. Now, how many times when we are hectic and have a million things to do, and we walk into a situation and we going, what is going on here? Right? We're not meaning to, we're just caught up in this instead of focusing out there. And that is why centering is the most important exercise you could do for yourself. Here's my second demonstration. What seems to be the problem? Sorry, somebody wrote, be on your way. Fake, yeah. Exactly. Nobody likes a condescending voice tone. Setting up that kind of relationship is not a relationship. It's control. So just be aware of your voice tone. I trust that none of you will ever use that kind of a voice tone. But sometimes, it's like sometimes I hear my mother's voice come out of my mouth and I go, oh, where did that come from? It's a human thing. So I guess what I want you to take from this exercise is pay attention, be mindful, and listen, right? Okay, PowerPoint 8. Yeah, self-care, whatever it may be, whether it's reading a book, dancing in your living room, or taking a bath. If you don't take care of yourself, it's real hard to take care of others. We all know that. And I'm just reminding you. Next PowerPoint, please. If you enjoyed this, you might enjoy our next webinar that's going to be for the Validation Training Institute during our fall fundraiser. And Naomi and I are going to be talking about her history, how she developed validation, how she developed the Validation Training Institute. We're going to do a live role play mother-daughter thing. I don't know if you know, but Naomi File is my mom. And so we're very used to role-playing mother-daughter things. I hope you will join us. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. She's always so good. And I guess I'm done. We can open it up to Q&A if you want.
Thank you so much, Vicki. I actually, I wanted to mention to everyone that we have with VTI, we have an upcoming fundraiser coming up. Vicki, do you want to talk 2 seconds about it?
Absolutely. We do one fundraiser every autumn, and it is this year critical because we've been putting out a lot of free material, and of course, given COVID situation, not getting a lot of income. So the fundraiser is particularly important this year, and I hope if you have $10 or whatever you have, we would be very grateful for every small, large, mega large donation, whatever it is. And if you can't give, I totally understand that everybody is stretched thin. Please like us. Subscribe to the newsletter, like us on Facebook, pass it on to your friends, and that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Vicki. I'm showing to everyone Vicki's contact information. I also want to invite everyone to review, because they are fantastic, the videos that VTI has put out on their website and on YouTube. There are tons of very meaningful, professionally designed video for you to understand a little bit more about VTI, navigate some of your experiences, and really learn some of the things that Vicki mentioned here. So Vicki, again, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for such an interactive, probably one of our most interactive sessions to date. Thanks to the polls and the chat, and obviously your experience as a fantastic speaker. For everybody on the line, I wanted to share a couple announcements related to Activity Strong, which is one, we are obviously continuing all of these webinars in 2021. We are almost done with our schedule until the summer of 2021. And let me share with you a couple of things that we're doing. One, we are continuing this quarterly gathering, which I'm about to talk about in just a second. But we are also focusing one of our webinars every month on what we're going to call an executive edition. So let me share more about these two aspects on this next slide here, which is every other webinar, what we're going to do is we're going to continue creating webinars for you, the activity and life enrichment professionals. But what we are also going to do, and we need your help on this, is that we are going to invite everyone else on your team, whether it's nursing, whether it's your administrator or your executive director. And you'll notice the change with the subtitle of the webinar. So again, everyone's welcome, and we strongly encourage you to invite other people, other members of your team, because we know that engagement cannot be done by one person. It is not the job of one department. It is the job of a community, of a team, of an organization. And we hope and believe that by inviting everyone else, by helping you invite everyone else, we will help you foster meaningful conversation. And not only have this conversation with everyone on the team, but also get credit for the awesome work that you have been doing. So the first one that we're going to do is on December 15th. I'm personally very excited about it because it talks about how we've all tried to, beyond coping, readjusting to this pandemic, this COVID-19. And the big question that Sarah and Kelly are going to be asking is, are residents pivoting the same way that providers are, right? So again, please consider this webinar. I'm very excited personally, but also please consider inviting other people in your team. Regarding our next event, actually, in 2 weeks, it is going to be our winter gathering, right? And so it's actually a half-day event where you will get up, I think, to 3 CUs. And I wanted to share with you why we're excited about this particular one. As you might remember, our fall gathering was focused on the first step of resident engagement, which is how we get to know our residents. Now, our second gathering, the winter gathering, is going to be focused on how do we plan and prepare. So this day, again, these are Eastern time, will go from 1 to 5 p.m. Myself talking with Tori Crumby at 2:30 p.m. just as an FYI, we will be talking about exclusive insights that we've gained through our RICE assessment, the Resident Engagement Index score. And we will talk about how we take that data to improve our activity and life enrichment department. So I encourage you to consider these fantastic learning opportunities. I want to thank all of our partners here, and I want to leave you with one final thought, which is one last final opportunity, which is that we know that the holiday season is by far the most stressful season in activities and life enrichment. And this year is obviously not a normal year. So I wanted to share the fact that Activity Strong, that is Link Senior, NCAP, and NAP, have created a free resource for you throughout the month of November and December, as we are limited in terms of group programs, visits from the outside. And so every day on our Facebook group, we have been streaming and will continue throughout the end of December free live programs. So please consider these. And again, good luck in your work every day. And thank you for the fantastic job that you've been doing. Vicki, thank you for joining us today. Hope it's been fun for you. Sorry about the technical glitch at the beginning. And I want to applaud you for the fantastic work and how VTI has been able to adapt and stay so relevant in the face of COVID. And one would argue has actually become even more relevant. So thank you very much for your work. And I'm going to stop sharing.